I've been speaking to my brother about making a declaration of my experience. What I experienced with certain powers that be that were moving inappropriately. And I really, it's in my bone marrow to discuss that, because thankfully God built me the way that he built me, but I'm not sure, based on this person's claims and brags, that he's literally got, at the same time this person was sexually harassing me for years. He was claiming, that he had multiple young black men on the payroll, and they just had to show up when he requested them to be there. Clearly, that's why it felt to him that it was okay to say these things. And I want to have these discussions. I want to be transparent with y'all about that. I've done my best to forgive this person, but it happens. It happens. It's not just women that have to deal with it, but it's also men sometimes. And it'll be men tempting men. And that's why a lot of my posts over the last few years have been about taking the scenic route, taking the long way around, because if that means that you can carry your integrity with you. But there are people that will and have and will continue to, unfortunately, offer these things. And some of them are your heroes. Some of them are people who y'all like, oh yeah, such and such is amazing, and he does this and he does that. Yeah, but he also does this and that. At some point soon, it's gonna have to come out. I've kept one of these on me since 2005. Whether it's a keychain recorder or a pen, because most predators would check your phone. And once the sexual harassment started, I was like, well, I got to protect me, because I'm saying no, and I don't want this person, as powerful as they are, to try to get in the way of my work. So I started recording. So I have them offering me money to take my clothes off. I have recordings when I wasn't working with them or for them. I have recordings of them confessing that, the other guys that they have on the payroll, all of the above. And the difference is, the wonderful thing about confidentiality agreements and non-disclosure agreements is that they can't prevent you from turning all of those things over to the police, because sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony. Sometimes it's our own heroes. Sometimes it's the very people we deify, and we look up like, oh, they're doing so much. No, they're also doing this. And my only reservation about naming the people, there was directors along the way like, hey, you read for this, that, and the other. You want to come back up to the apartment? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You got my headshot, my resume, and I'm good. If I can handle that or not. I can kill that, but I don't need to come up to your apartment. We already had the audition. I want to say everything, and my brother was like, nah, not yet. The good news is that they don't even have to believe me hopefully they would, but even if they don't, they can hear this person. Since sexual harassment started, I've carried many recorder devices on me, keychains, pens, thumb drives with a charged battery that get 6, 7, 8 hours, all the above. So I have the conversations. I really want to air that shit out because it bothers me when I'm alone at night. Like, man, the world is celebrating this person and they don't even know the shady and predatory way in which this person moves, and the way that, predators resent the prey that gets away. So when you don't say yes, when you don't say, okay, I'll acquiesce and, sign up and literally and figuratively play ball, because we're not doing that. I can forgive people. That's one thing. But yeah, P, we don't play ball. I have peace. I'm literally strategically planning my next 8 moves. I'm good. God got me, because he was watching when I was offered these opportunities and I didn't say yes. I didn't sell my soul or my ass for success. It's like, nah, that's not what I want. I ain't into that. I ain't into dudes. I got an only beard in the bed policy. Mine is the only beard in the bed. Yeah, we ain't doing none of that. I don't get out like that. And these people kept on for years. Sexual harassment is a crime. Attempted sexual assault is a felony. And where I'm at now is that in the middle of the night, I think about if I'm brave enough to name the person. I'll take a polygraph live. I'll take 5 polygraphs live. And I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. This person is a predator and he's one of several. And I have proof. It's not like I'm just making false accusations. I intentionally let the statute of limitations expire. It's not about money, but I'm gonna have to take the receipts, the recordings down to the police department and let them hear this individual. I wasn't working for him in the month and the year that he showed up to my apartment and offered me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, I don't even need to touch you. I just want to see you naked. I declined because, again, scenic route. I got my integrity with me. I'll take the long way around. But being that I wasn't working with him and we were in my apartment, he had visited my apartment to offer me a job of this fall because the lead of this particular project was going to do something else, so he needed another lead. I recorded it because I didn't trust him, and I had told him over and over, and he still always tried shit. Just tried shit. So if people don't believe me, they can hear him in his voice. I have always kept something on me. Always. Even if my phone is off. Something else is, if I'm around somebody that has tried to sexually harass me, pressure me, intimidate me into some nonsense, I've always kept something on me so I could protect myself, because if they're that powerful and they feel that entitled, then they can also try to get in the way of your work. I want to speak on it. I also want to keep making great things and creating jobs and opportunities. But you'll know right away, and it'll break your heart. I won't have to say the person's name, but I can and I will. I don't mind doing a polygraph or 3 or 5 on live TV, and I'll pass all of them because it's the truth. And some of the people that you think are your mentors are literally and figuratively just trying to fuck you. I have documentation from the dealership for the car that they tried to buy as an apology for offering me $100,000 a strip. It's time. And then where I'm at now, if it still feels like that person is fucking with you just to fuck with you, just to mess with you. The bad part is I'm gonna be painted as the villain when I was the one that was sexually harassed for years, bullied, intimidated, and sexually harassed for years because y'all have deified this person. And then if a person tells you over and over, first of all, in general, you have no right to touch anybody. None. You are not allowed to touch somebody without their permission. Not allowed to try to touch them in a sexual or private place without their permission. And if they've already declared, like, hey, bruh, I get that that's your thing, but I like black women and Hennessy. And so miss me with the bullshit, because I'm never going to be open to that. I'm never going to swing at that pitch. Like, I'm batting for this team over here. Like, chill. And then this person still tries to grab you, physically grab. Cassie speaking out has reminded me about not just me, because it was brutal going through it, because it lasted for years. But her speaking out, people need to know. Predators like that, they resent the prey that got away. They resent the prey that got away. The prey that didn't fold. The prey that didn't acquiesce and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take this L and sacrifice my morals for this opportunity. Nah. That was around the time that I was considering going back to Michigan, 08, 09, because work was slow, and the work that was coming was offered with a side of penis. And yeah, that don't do nothing for me. I'm batting for y'all team. But at some point, really soon, the police report is going to be filed, and I'll turn over the recordings of the inappropriate behaviors and the inappropriate offers, and I'll turn over the paperwork for the car that was bought as an apology for offering me $100,000 to take my clothes off. And y'all can hear him. His voice is very distinctive. And I wanna empty. I'm tired of carrying this shit. I regret not being able to be strong enough, and I resent that part of me that wasn't strong enough to speak up about it. There's no reason that this person's company would be on the bill of sale for a vehicle unless it's right after the time-stamped recording of him offering me $100,000 to take my clothes off. He said, I don't have to touch you. I just want to see you naked. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, you know, I'm not into that. I don't fuck around like that. I don't do that. What the fuck? What? Leave. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get out. I thought you were my brother and my friend. I thought this person was a brother type figure, a mentor type figure. But for you to continuously throw these opportunities, you know good and damn well all it ever was you pretending to be a mentor trying to get some ass. And your immediate reaction is going to be like, oh, well, we got to protect our deity. I'm interested to see which peers are mad at me because it may interfere with their work. But, yeah. You get a grown-ass man that knows that you're heterosexual and you're sleeping off Hennessy in his guest room because he says it's safe. Because I know I'm bent, so I'm after a big party. Won't say what type, won't say where. I'm sleep. I'm gone because I'm 4-5 Hennessy's deep and not short Hennessy's either. And this dude tries to climb into bed with you. So you spaz out, push him out, like, what the fuck? Get ready to leave. He apologizes, blame it on the alcohol. And you try to forgive him. So you're like, all right, man. All right, I'm gone. You shake his hand on the way out, and he tries to grab your penis. He tries to shake and grab your equipment. And you spaz even more. Like, what the fuck you doing, man? What the fuck? Oh, my bad. So you go to leave, he tries to do it again. Now, at that point, my only regret is not breaking multiple bones in this person's face. But you got a guy that's a billionaire, and I got $3,000 in my bank account. Who they gonna believe? Right? I got that $3,000. That's my son's mom's rent for next month. Got to make sure little man's taken care of. That's my rent, and that's a little bit for the gas tank, and the rest of it, I can go to the dollar store and get some bread and bologna and hot dogs and mustard, and I can get by. Work was slow, and a lot of the work that was coming it had penis attached to it. I'm like, fuck that, man. That's not what I want. That's not what I'm about to do. I regret not speaking up then, not being brave enough to, and I regret not hurting this person. Between that year and now, how many young black actors have fell for that? How many of them, and you can hear him say it you can hear him on the conversations. You can hear him on the conversations. You can hear him say that he has multiple guys on payroll, 6 figures a year, that pop up and they do whatever he wants and they go back home. So they pop in, they grab their ankles, they do whatever he wants. And I'm like, I'm not finna fucking do that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to make it that bad. I want to be able to shave in the fucking morning without any grief or any regret or any shame waiting for me in the mirror. There's a trauma that comes with being bullied and intimidated and sexually harassed like that. And the bad part is when the truth comes out, a lot of y'all in here are gonna be like, man, I don't believe it. Person has a very distinctive voice when they offer me $100,000 to take my clothes off. Person has a very distinctive voice when they literally sexually assault me and try to grab my private parts, and I'm blocking their hand like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, my bad, and tries to do it again. Some of these people are y'all heroes. You don't sexually harass your employees. You don't pressure them, bully them, try to intimidate them into what you want. Again, I let the statute of limitations run out. It's never been about money. My concern is that this person is still doing it, still a predator. And it's not okay. And I wish I was brave enough to speak up back then. I was worried that he would get in the way and try to interfere with my work and try to blackball me because he couldn't ball me. Pun intended. The beauty of non-disclosure agreements is that even if you do sign them, you can't speak about certain things, but confidentiality agreements don't, after speaking with several attorneys, they do not prohibit you. They can't prevent you from going to police departments and reporting sexual harassment and giving them your receipts, giving them your recordings, giving them your PDFs. And they don't prevent you from reporting felonies. Sexual harassment is a felony. If you tell a person, if you tell a whole grown man, like, hey, I ain't into dudes, yeah, y'all shut the fuck up. You tell a grown man, I'm not into guys, and he tries to grab your private parts, not once but twice, after trying to climb into bed with you. That is the legal definition of sexual assault. So, yeah. And no, I didn't see that documentary. Y'all gonna be disappointed in who it is because y'all been fooled for years. I've been carrying this with me for a decade and a half. More. I'm gonna get off of that subject. It's gonna be addressed, and it's gonna be addressed soon. And if anybody has a problem with me telling the truth about predators in this industry, then they are truly part of the problem. And I'll say that out front, so that way when certain people who are worried about their work that are tied to this person or whatever, it's because they're selfish and they're worried about work. Just switching lanes. I was on a show, and if I had done what this actress did, if I had done what she did, I'd never work again and I'd be in jail. She used to come up and pat me on the jump, like pat my penis, like, ooh, okay, I see that print. And I checked her. I grabbed her hand right away, checked her, like, what the fuck are you doing? That ain't okay. I'll do that shit. I'm going to jail. What are you doing? She did it again. Grabbed her hand. I was like, stop. That shit ain't funny. We're preparing for a scene. She walks past, cups my equipment, and was like, oh, you got some girth. When I tell you, had that been a dude, I'd have punched them in their motherfucking mouth. If I behaved like this woman, this particular actress had done, in that moment, I'd be in jail, I'd be canceled, and I would never fucking work again. You don't get to walk past somebody and be like, oh, that's nice, and pat them on their fucking private. Had I said something and she was higher than me on the call sheet, they would have just wrote me out. I'd have died. That's not okay. Imagine a man walking past a woman tapping, saying, I see that print poking through. I'm going to jail that very day. But she can do it and continue to work in this industry. And if I report her to the female executives that were on that particular show, it's going to get swept under the rug because they had already told me, just Christian, just stand here and be pretty. So, yeah, I needed to vent and get some of this out of my system because there's a vitriol that you carry when you deal with this. And there's a trauma that comes with it because you never know. Like, okay, is this meeting legit? Another one of those meetings where you meet with a black billionaire businessman, and while my manager was there, everything is everything. I got my Kinko's presentation with the plastic cover on it. I paid good money on this, good money. I'm running it down like you can invest in this, that, and the other. As soon as my manager leaves, he moves into a conference room. And I'm like, okay, what's a conference room? Nothing sketchy about this. Didn't realize that the doors on the side of the conference room right there led into his suite. So about 8 or 10 minutes, I'm nervous in my phone. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Okay, you changing? You got to use the bathroom. It's a number 2. Cool. He comes back in silk pajamas, silk robe, right as they're delivering strawberries and champagne like this is Pretty Woman or a fucking date. I'm like, wait, whoa, this ain't that. I'm not him, and this ain't that. I'd love for you to invest in my company. He probably should have, because he would own a piece of All the Queen's Men. The books I've already sold, the 6 or 8 books I'm about to release, all of that. He would have had a piece of all of that monetarily, but he didn't. He was thinking with his dick. And yeah, he came back in, grabbed a strawberry, sat down, and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. You got my presentation, I'm gone. He's like, are you sure? I said, yeah. Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. He's like, are you sure? That second, are you sure, means if you don't stay and do what I want, you're not going to get what you're hoping for. Now, this particular guy is out here paying tuition for entire classes of HBCUs after this sketchy shit. Want to air him out too. There are wolves in the hen house. Learn from this person, or I want to learn from this person, or maybe partner with this person over here because he's invested in black companies, not knowing that he's a predator. And this person who's supposed to be your mentor is the worst predator of all. Because if you think that Diddy shit was crazy, you don't even know. Like I said, you don't have to believe me. You can hear this person in his very distinctive voice. Once the sexual harassment started, I have kept one of these on me. It's a recorder. I've kept one of them on me for 18 years.